Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're checking out the 3 new White Series uniforms for Sharon Rogers, Captain America, Luna Snow, and Crescent, as well as the Tier 3 for White Fox. And my summary of this mid-month update is people are going to have opinions about it. It's going to be polarizing, and I think some people are really going to like this mid-month update, and some people are really going to hate it. I don't think there's going to be a lot of players that are in the middle, but my job is sort of to be in the middle, at least in the beginning, until I have a much more matured, experienced opinion about the uniforms and about the new moves, etc. So yeah, I'm going to try to sort of hedge between positive and sort of critical, but I will also just give you guys my opinion straight up, at least my first impression. So as far as Sharon Rogers goes, she really only has one change, and I want to cover this change specifically here because it's important to note. You're going to see an icon that you don't usually see, and it's going to be flashing, which is going to be really confusing. So if I show you this in gameplay and against an actual boss, there's just so much going on. It's her 4th skill. So she does have a brand new 4th skill. You can tell by the icon as well. It's blue, whereas the rest of the icons have the sort of red orange glow. And basically what she does is she hits down, she does a couple of blasts, and then she does this one big lance thrust. It's not the coolest looking skill. I mean, it looks cool, but it's also, we've seen this skill before, right? So she smashes down, she does 1, 2 buster shots, and then she does this huge buster lance shot. Now, unlike War Machine's skills, you can't move around or she's sort of stuck doing this skill. But the thing you're seeing, the flashing icon that you're seeing is up here at the top. It's invincibility. It's flashing because it's a 1-second invincibility that continuously refreshes. That's pretty important. Invincibility gives a character super armor, and it also provides them those extra defenses. They're not going to take regular damage unless the invincibility gets removed, or the attack has penetration, the invincibility penetration, and it's also going to give her protection against guard break effects. So this is going to make her a lot more consistent in content where she otherwise could get interrupted. However, as you can see with her compared to her old 4th skill, she's lost her iframe. So she gains super armor, she gains invincibility, but she has lost her iframe, which, again, some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it. Like I said, there's really not going to be, there really isn't going to be an in-between on this. Some people are going to love it, and some people are going to think it's terrible. So just to recap here, this is her old 4th skill. Full iframe here, right? As soon as she jumps up, basically, well, it's not a full iframe. As soon as she jumps up, it's an iframe, but this skill can get interrupted. It's not likely that it gets interrupted, but it can get interrupted. As you can tell, though, the skill has less hits, right? I'm not going to get all technical with it and test it out here, but you can just sort of tell, you know, whether I'm hitting one enemy or whether I'm hitting a lot of enemies. You can tell, right? Yeah, you can definitely tell here. Let me just try to single out one character. No, she just wants to gather them all up here. We'll get these 2 here. But this skill is doing, right, about 24 hits on a single target, right? So that's basically it for Sharon Rogers. So honestly, from my experience, the status quo isn't really going to change as far as her rotation goes. Her damage might scale quite a little bit better because she has more hits now. Because she has more chain hit damage and this sort of thing, but she didn't really get any new buffs or anything like that except for the all defense down. However, it doesn't appear that the all defense down is applying. So if we go over to a world boss where I can apply all defense down and we just slot Sharon Rogers in here, you'll see that I don't think it's applying, which is kind of strange. I guess the devs need to look at this, but yeah, that's kind of important. It's kind of important if the advertised skill effect is not having the effect that it wants. However, the cool thing is you can also just open with the 4th skill now. So yeah, as you can see, there is 0 all defense down being applied. 0. So yeah, the devs are definitely gonna need to take a look at that. Right now, it's basically false advertising. Well, I don't want to say false advertising because that sounds really serious and incriminating or whatever, but it is technically false, right? It says there, decreases all defense and it ignores immunity. Ignores immunity means it does apply to world bosses, right? World boss ultimate. But it doesn't do that. There's no all defense down. So they need to fix that. But yeah, that's basically what it is for Sharon. Luna, on the other hand, is better. She's definitely better. She got 2 skill changes instead of 1. It's a little bit harder to get used to her rotation now because you're used to canceling 1 and 2 and to kind of 3. You're used to canceling most of her skills really aggressively, but you have to remember now you can't really cancel 3 so quickly because of the delayed damage. So like if you cancel 3 right away, you're not going to get those purple, right? Even if you cancel it up there at the top, you got to wait for her to land, right, in order to get this extra damage here. And again, with the second skill, you got to wait, right, for her to do that final sweep. She basically has 3 motions. She moves in, she sweeps, and then boom. So here you got to wait, boom. And then I'm not actually 100% sure if you want to cancel the 5 or not cancel the 5 now, but she definitely has a lot more damage. Her skills still look really pretty. She's got the new song that triggers, the brand new song that triggers there, and you can also hear it when you go here, I believe. Yeah, so you can get a taste of the song here as well. But again, these are not again. I feel like why this update is going to be polarizing is because a lot of these changes feel incremental. They feel maybe not so noticeable at first test, at second test. So it's really going to take a lot of testing to really show why these new uniforms are better than the old ones. And at this stage in the game, I think players, the game is getting a little long in the tooth. So players are really looking for something, you know, clearly better. And this is not really the case. Well, I mean, it's better, but it's just not like in your face better. And then we have Crescent. Crescent, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. She has, again, it's kind of the same story, and I don't really understand how the devs could make this mistake 3 times in a row, but I think they did. Her damage seems really bad. Again, this is my first impression, but my first impression was that her raw damage seemed really bad. Her counter is a little difficult to trigger, and her damage is pretty bad except on 5 and 3 when you can get the accumulation to work. But without the accumulation, her damage is pedestrian. It's really, really low. So her third skill is basically the same. She just does some kicks in the air. It looks kind of like God of High School. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. They just added this little taekwondo, not taekwondo, sorry. They added the sort of blue and red, the Korea flag colors there with the yin and yang. And then the fourth skill is kind of new. She drops some rocks and then she kicks them and then the rocks fall on you. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I think they enhanced the fifth skill a little bit. They added some extra hits to it and they enhanced the animation for it, which is nice. But and her second skill is new as well. She does this sort of thing here and then she goes into her regular animation. So they didn't really change it completely. They just added an animation to the beginning of it. But of course it also changes if you turn the AI on, because then she'll counterattack. But as you can see, the counterattack is very, very short. It's just basically one hit. So yeah, it's one kick, and then her first skill is exactly the same. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do more testing with Crescent. Obviously her leadership is amazing because she has, you know, reflect, heal, iframe, ignore, counterattack. She may be good for Alliance Conquest, but for World Boss, and she has guard break immunity on every single skill, right? So that matters as well. But for standalone content, for PvE content, I'm not sure if she's still going to be anything but a leadership, which is kind of disappointing, right? Again, not what we were hoping for. They made it. Her original design was not good enough to be anything but a leadership. Her design here, not good enough to be anything but a leadership. Now we have that same question mark again. I was kind of hoping, you know, I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it, but I was kind of hoping that it would just be very obvious that she was good now, right? We don't even have that many good combat characters. So why they're afraid to make Crescent really good, I don't know. Maybe it's because she's not a popular character, but yeah, I'm just not really sure why they couldn't make her as strong as Shang-Chi or just a little bit weaker than him, right? But I don't even think she's as good as Moon Knight necessarily. I'll have to see. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but the fact, in my opinion, it's just a little bit annoying that there's even a chance that she's not going to be as good as Moon Knight, a character that was released a year ago, right? She's more expensive than Moon Knight. not only being premium but also being a tier 3. Anyways, it's turning into a bit of a Crescent hate rant, but yeah, we'll have to do more testing. She's definitely not going to be the easiest character to play necessarily, because she has very, very short cooldowns. But the first impressions are not, knock your socks off good, right? They're not mind-blowingly good. And then we have White Fox, and I think White Fox is probably going to be another one that's, again, very polarizing, because for players that were just expecting a support tier 3, they're going to be very pleased, because obviously she's the best support in the game now, right? No kidding, right? She gives all hero allies 30% ignore dodge, 10% chain hit, and 15% basic attack. And then to characters that have the leadership tag, because of Kumiho's stance, she's going to give you this crazy buff. So there's a bunch of characters that are going to, Shang-Chi, right? Thor, Ghost Rider, Captain Marvel, right? There's tons of characters who have Blue Marvel, right? Tons of characters with that leadership ability who are about to get a massive, massive bump. So in that sense, the character that shakes up the meta the most might actually be White Fox this update. However, again, as a standalone character, let me show you guys. I haven't really showed you guys any content, so let me show you guys. It's not pretty. And again, keep in mind, she's giving herself 10% attack, 30% ignore dodge, 10% chain hit, 65% increased damage against villains, and she's got accumulation. She's got, she's got a lot of buffs, right? A lot of buffs. Her tier 3 doesn't charge up that quickly because she hates us. No. But yeah, her tier 3 does not do very much damage, and she can't apply all defense down, of course. So yeah. You want to do 4 before the tier 3 if you have the new uniform, because of the accumulation. But yeah, you also want to delay the 4 a little bit to see those orbs come out, because that's going to add some chain hit. But I don't know, if she wasn't going to get a new uniform, maybe she needs one. Let's see if her tier 3 gives her stun immunity. Okay, her tier 3 does give her stun immunity, so we didn't get the accumulation there, but at least now we know that her tier 3 has stun immunity. But as you can see by the damage, it's not good for a character with this many buffs. This is her raw damage, so keep in mind I'm not using an obelisk, but maybe like a CTP of energy would really supercharge her. I don't know, but for a character with this many buffs to be pushing 2 minutes to clear is a little yikes. I hope I'm wrong, right? I hope I'm wrong, but right now that's how it looks. This was a little bit faster, but still, a minute 45 with all those buffs. We talked about Hulkbuster. We talked about, other characters like that. When it takes that long with all those buffs, that leadership, etc., it might not be a good sign. So yeah, that's why I think that this update is going to be very polarizing. On the one hand, some players are going to be getting exactly what they wanted because their expectations were not through the roof, right? They wanted a really good support tier 3. Boom, you got the best one in the game. They wanted a really good flexible physical leadership. Boom, we got the best one in the game. In that sense, the best one of the game, right? Some small buffs to Sharon Rogers to make her easier to play, do a little bit more damage. Boom, you got that. Some small buffs to increase her damage, increase her movement speed. Boom, you've got it. But if you were hoping for, right? So those players, those attitudes, those expectations that I just mentioned, those people are going to be loving this mid-month update, right? But for players who were expecting like meta busting, like Luna Snow's going to carry me through Mephisto now, I'm not sure if she can do that. We'll see. We'll see. She's definitely better than she was. She was at least 30 seconds faster than the old uni. But again, it's 30 seconds faster sounds kind of like you're cutting hairs, right? You're splitting hairs. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the true deep dive testing tells us, and I'll have that for you guys coming up in the next few days, right? Without any obelisk, right? No buffs, and then an obelisk, a regular obelisk and then a CTP. We'll see. Wow, I can't switch to... Oh, they swap places. That's why. We'll see how it goes, and I'll try a Judgment as well on Luna, in addition to going back to a Rage. But as it stands right now, I'm personally a little bit disappointed. I don't think my expectations were super duper high, but they were a little bit higher than I think they should have been, I guess, considering what we got. So hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of this mid-month update. Aesthetically, I think these uniforms are gorgeous, and we finally have Io opening his mouth and showing his teeth, so that's pretty hilarious. But yeah, could have been better, could have been worse. I think that's where we're at right now. Thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.